This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 3rd day of August in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. As the governing People's Progressive Party Civic celebrated its second anniversary since returning to the government on Tuesday, the opposition APNU-AFC and the WPA said the government has spent the past 2 years involved in high levels of discrimination and corruption. The APNU-AFC, along with the Working People's Alliance, hosted a rally last evening at Burnham Court here in Georgetown. And the over 2,000 people who attended were told by the opposition leader Aubrey Norton that the opposition will now be stepping into full campaign mode against the government and its shortcomings. Mr. Norton said the country is currently facing dictatorship under the PPP.
Let us be clear in our heads. We are facing a very dictatorial regime. We are facing a regime that is prepared to violate the rule of law. He's talking about absence of political discrimination. Let me say here and now, and I repeat, here and now, the Constitution of Guyana says, if there is no commissioner, and a commissioner is somebody is to act as commissioner, the law says the most senior deputy commissioner shall become the person acting. You took a junior man and put him over Paul Williams because you can control him. They can't tell us anything about democracy. They know not rule of law. They are lawless. They are corrupt. And that is why we will confront them.
The opposition leader also defended his move to refuse a handshake from President Irfan Ali at a recent emancipation event in Berbice. He said he will not be shaking the hands of his oppressors.
I want people to know I shake hands, but I do not shake hands with my oppressors. I can shake hands. If you treat my people, if you treat all Guyanese as equal, you will get a handshake.
The rally was also told by Mr. Norton that while the cost of living in Guyana is spiraling out of control, crime is on the rise and there seems to be a return of extrajudicial killings. He said those problems are compounded with acts of discrimination by the government. Norton said while the president speaks of one Guyana, he has been ignoring the cries of Guyanese.
It is easy for some to talk about protocol and decorum, but if they go into our villages, they will understand what this regime is doing to the people of Guyana. Let me remind you, at Mocha on the East Bank, they are seeking to remove people who live on these lands for years, taking state money to give them so that they could give their rich friends. We say no to that.
Mr. Norton also raised concern over the president's failure to meet with him as opposition leader on the appointment of several critical constitutional commissions, which has forced the opposition to head to the court over the appointments.
You shake a hand when somebody is nice to you. You shake a hand when there is need for some amount of gratitude. You shake a hand when it is cordial and friendship. You do not shake the hands of those who seek to oppress you. And I say that without fear of successful contradiction.
According to Norton, the opposition will be mobilizing itself more and will hit the ground to let people understand all that is happening around them. He has also promised a return to the picket line to bring more attention to the grievances of Guyanese. More news coming up in just a moment.
Man, I've been getting this feeling lately. I don't know where it's coming from. I got this itch to win and win big, and I got to scratch it. At Activate, scratch, win big with GTT's Blazing Hot Summer Promotion, which runs from July 1st to September 30th. Activate a data plan or bundle and receive a link to your digital scratch card every Saturday. Tap the link, scratch, and you can be a winner of one of our amazing prizes of electric bikes, TVs, laptops, tablets, food vouchers, and so much more. It's gonna be a blazing hot summer with GTT's Scratch and Win promotion.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grade 7 and 8 students for the 2022-2023 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us on 613-4806.
To be honest, the government have done a very great job for the country. At least they have done the development and whatever they're doing for the disabled. That's a very good job for the disabled.
Celebrating the BPPC's second year in office, the journey to prosperity for all.
Longtime business executive and agronomist Anthony Vera has announced his resignation from the board of the Guyana Sugar Corporation GuySuCo, where he served as vice chairman. Mr. Vera announced his resignation in a letter to the press, pointing out that GuySuCo has numerous problems which cannot be addressed by its current management, which he described as incompetent. The former board member has accused the company's CEO, Resignation Singh, of not being truthful with the company's board and the nation on a number of issues related to the sugar company and its operations. The CEO of GuySuCo and the company's board have been going at each other over the management decision to purchase a particular brand of tractors to assist with field work. The issue has even engaged the attention of the president and the agriculture minister. The GuySuCo board does not appear supportive of the management's position to purchase a particular brand of tractors. During a recent board meeting, tensions flared between the CEO and a number of board members, including the chairman of the board and the vice chairman, Anthony Vera. In a leaked audio of the meeting, the CEO, Resignation Singh, could be heard accusing the board of being unfair to him and likening its management to electoral fraud.
You're not a member of this board. You don't vote on this board.
This is a bilateral conversation.
It's not a bilateral nothing.
Know your place.
Know your place. You have no idea of your place. Since I sitting down here for 2 years, I'm looking at a man who have no idea what corporate structure is supposed to be.
Can I just say something? The technicians have a right to respond. Come on, we can't sit here and allow this unfairness. This feels like loin field. I was sitting there when this was happening. He was sitting there when this was happening. We went through this in our life. And to do it again and see you do it, Mr.
Chairman.
You were feeling like Mr. Lloyd feel all of a sudden.
That's your good job, you watchman the box.
Can I say something?
That's the only job you ever do, you're competent to do. Watchman the box. That's all you ever do that you could do.
I get over.
Stand up, watchman box.
Chair, can you ask Mr. Can I say something?
No, let me say.
You got to put in the place, man. He's been coming for 2 years, he's punishing all of me in this room.
Some board members loudly objected, and Vera could be heard telling the CEO that he was incompetent and not the person for the GuySuCo job. Vera has said the current GuySuCo management does not fully understand the changing nature of the sugar industry. Despite billions of dollars being pumped into GuySuCo annually by the government, the company continues to decline, and the government's plans to resuscitate the struggling industry appears now like a faraway dream. But let's tell you now that the civil society group Article 13 is not impressed with the performance of the government over the past 2 years. And the group believes that the country is once again seeing the rise of corruption under the People's Progressive Party. In a statement to mark the government's second year in office, the civil society group said before assuming office in 2020, the PP Civic was accepting help from all quarters to oust the coalition government. And once it got into government, it went on a spree to repay those who assisted. According to Article 13, unsurprisingly, on assuming power, the government found it necessary to reward in different ways those who helped it. And such reward took the form of plum appointments, steering contracts in a particular direction, and the allocation of state resources, often at below market prices. The civil society group said in that regard the PP Civic was operating true to form, as it had done in the 23 years it was in power from 1992 to 2015. It said corruption is now back with allegations against the vice president who controls the entire state apparatus. The group said it welcomed the public statements by both the president and the vice president in supporting a formal investigation into the bribery allegations against the vice president. Article 13 noted that there has been no move to launch a probe of the allegations. The government also came under attack from Article 13 as it was accused of not practicing inclusionary democracy. It said a number of constitutional bodies to secure good and efficient governance are yet to be appointed, and the government is practicing exclusionary rather than inclusionary democracy. Noting that the president continues to ignore calls to confirm the acting chancellor and the acting chief justice. According to Article 13, both the government and the opposition, along with civil society, need to be mindful of the direction in which the country is heading and to recognize the need for a reset. The group said there should be constitutional reform by all means. Article 13 also said the opposition's performance over the past 2 years has been lackluster, and the opposition needs to be more responsible in its role.
So far, to me, they're doing reasonably well. They're reaching out to the people is good to me, so they could know what people are going through. I think they're doing their job.
Celebrating the BPPC's second year in office, the journey to prosperity for all.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grade 7 and 8 students for the 2022-2023 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us on 613-4806.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Opposition Member of Parliament Amanda Walton Desir has issued a call on Guyanese to rise up and stand against a culture that discriminates against a group of people. During the coalition's Tuesday rally, the MP said citizens must speak out against the forms of neglect that they are facing, and they must demand better from the government and not be distracted by sideshows.
We will be impressed when he starts to implement policies that see the equitable distribution of Guyana's wealth. We will be impressed when what they give to Region 6 is what they give to Region 4. We will be impressed with when they do the roads in Buxton, the same quality that they do the roads in Monrepo. We will be impressed when you go to visit Monrepo, that you turn up to Quindon Bacchus's family and say, here I am.
Walton Desir, who is the opposition spokesperson on foreign affairs, noted the president's recent attack on U.S. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and she said it was unwarranted. She said the president would have nothing to worry about from any U.S. congressman if he rules fairly and equitably.
And we must call for as loudly as we can for an end to the corruption, an end to the crime, an end to the extrajudicial killings, an end to the divisive politics of this PPP government.
Ms. Walton Desir added that the country is in a crisis and citizens must take note of the realities before them.
And so as Guyanese, we must do what is in our interests. We must do what is in our interests. And I tell you that even though the international winds are favorable to us, we cannot look to the east, we cannot look to the west, we cannot look to the north, we cannot look to the south for our deliverance, but our deliverance must come from within us. Our deliverance must come from within us. We are the heroes that we have been looking for. We are the saviors that we have been looking for. And so it is time for us to arise together.
The opposition has accused the government of dodging critical issues that affect the people of Guyana, including the public servants. The Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association is concerned about the overloading of trucks traversing the roads to the interior region. The concern comes on the heels of the collapse of two sections of one of the main roads to the interior region and damage to bridges in recent months. In a statement last evening, the Miners Association reminded that when the roads become deplorable, there is more downtime which affects the industry and other commuters, and the result is an increase in the operation costs to miners and other hinterland road users. The association wants the government of Guyana to enforce the established road users agreement, which stipulates and monitors the weight restrictions for trucks and vehicles transporting fuel and other supplies at key points such as Linden and Bartica. The GGDMA said it is of the view that some trucking services are damaging the roads due to their excessive weight. The miners' body said it remains supportive of a culture of responsible use of the interior roads. A number of persons are in police custody after raids in Sophia, Sparendam and Liliendal by the Guyana Police Force unearthed a number of items that are suspected to have been stolen. In a statement today, the Guyana Police Force said a 27-year-old Sophia resident who works as a vendor was taken into police custody after a quantity of cell phones, laptops and other electronic items were found at his B Field Sophia home. The police said the items are believed to have been stolen. At 4th Street, Sparendam, the police arrested a 22-year-old man in connection with a robbery investigation. Across in Liliendal, an 18-year-old woman was arrested after a quantity of marijuana stems, seeds and leaves were found stashed in a bucket. A 24-year-old man who later visited the police station at Turkine and claimed the items has also been arrested. The Guyana Police Force did not indicate what triggered the random raids in the three communities.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
GuyOil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose GuyOil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, the Reuters news agency is reporting that Mexico's Attorney General's office is investigating former President Enrique Peña Nieto for alleged money laundering, illicit enrichment, and illegal international transfers. The sources said Peña Nieto, who was president from 2012 to 2016, is the person identified as Enrique P. in a statement from the Attorney General's office on Tuesday. The Reuters news agency said it was not able to immediately contact the former president for comment. He previously denied any wrongdoing when reports of an investigation by Mexico's anti-money laundering unit emerged last month. Peña Nieto has not been charged with any crime. In Jamaica, the Health and Wellness Ministry is urging Jamaicans to reduce their exposure to hot temperatures to avoid heat-related stress. The ministry noted that the excessive heat stress is harmful to one's health and is potentially fatal. Jamaica, as other Caribbean countries, is currently experiencing a heat season that is typically between May and October annually. This year, extremely high temperatures are being recorded. As a result, the public, especially the vulnerable, such as the elderly, children under 6 years old, and bedridden persons, are being advised by the Health Ministry to take precautionary measures to reduce exposure to heat. In order to prevent illnesses associated with the heat, members of the public are being encouraged in Jamaica to hydrate with cool water, especially when it is hot and humid. They're also being encouraged to drink more fluids and limit or avoid sugar-sweetened drinks and beverages that contain alcohol. They're also being told to exercise indoors when possible. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi left Taiwan after a brief but controversial visit. Ms. Pelosi, the most senior U.S. politician to visit Taiwan in 25 years, departed on Wednesday after meeting leaders in the capital of Taipei. But her visit as part of a wider Asian tour sparked fury in Beijing after she ignored its warnings not to travel to the island. Taiwan is self-ruled, but China sees it as a breakaway province that will eventually unite with the mainland. Accusing the U.S. of violating China's sovereignty under the guise of so-called democracy, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that those who play with fire will not come to a good end, and those who offend China will be punished. In a statement following the visit, Ms. Pelosi said China cannot prevent world leaders or anyone from traveling to Taiwan to pay respect to its flourishing democracy, to highlight its many successes, and to reaffirm their commitment to continued collaboration. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.